For those of you who are uninitiated, a month or two ago, we showed our plans for the Kill Team board, and we built it, basically the whole Kill Team board digitally so we could leap ahead. Because it's outside a hangar, there could be other Stormbirds being built or repaired or parts that are being replaced. So that's actually what we're doing today. We're making molds so we can make more Stormbird bits to fill out the scene and make it even more epic. I'm gonna cast a couple of the simple ones with you now, because it's pretty straightforward as far as the basics goes, and then it gets a little trickier. And that's where you're gonna have fun by yourself. We're gonna start off with just one-piece molds. Basically, I'm thinking these jet engine things can all be one mold, and then these much taller pieces can be a mold as well. Reason being, if they were in the same mold, the silicon level would have to be really deep, and there's a lot of waste in here that there's no point wasting.
Now, Jazza, cooking show style, what is this product for our viewer at home?
Oh, thank you.
What is it? What does it do?
Pink
and how do
Sil,
you use it?
I just bought this from I don't know if it's in Australia. It's a Pink Sil.
Let's make our first body mold! Okay. Let's do it!
Let's start off with this.
Okay, what's your...
It's on.
It is on, and your hand went within, like, I think your hands just became part of the thing.
I love that you're protective of me. That's so sweet. The trick with this is we wanna save space, but we want to secure mold. So I think that's a pretty decent orientation. As you saw, I had the footprint. I left room to sort of see where the flaps would go up, and I'm just cutting it to roughly have the same height on both sides, and then I can just using that. Okay, so I got the makings of our mold. You can seal with hot glue, but you can do like 90% of it just with the foam core and tape, if you're coordinated. It's all right, I can do it by myself. All right, so I've done one side, pretty straightforward. Tape on the outside, hot glue in the middle to seal it, mostly-ish. It's fine, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. I'm walking here. And look at that. We have a box for the to make the mold in. Someone might call it a moldy box.
Lego is actually like the best thing to make these molds out of because it's super reusable, it's really easy, you can stack it. But we actually spent our entire budget on this Stormbird. So Lego, being the other extremely overpriced plastic, was out of our budget. Right
here is this big empty area. If I just poured silicone in there, that's just a big chunk of silicone, that's a huge waste. But fortunately, I have other big chunks of silicone that are huge wastes. So I can literally, just to save on fresh silicone, chop up chunks and just stick it in there. So I'm just hot gluing that in place, and I could do that as much as I sort of have the time or want to. The silicone's not super great with hot glue, but if you're aggressive enough, anything can stick, except for my parents' love. Let's pour some bloody silicone!
Okay, well, you're mixing it in this? Where's your measuring cups?
Ha! I laugh in the face of measuring cups. I'm getting them over here. It's just a measurement. Step one, because we don't want to be rushing doing stuff before we're pouring, we're going to spray the rocket release. This is just a basic release agent so we can pull everything out later. Step two, get your bloody silicone and measure it roughly. I'm going to say maybe there. I'm trying to minimize air bubbles. So I'm trying to pour everything evenly and scoop and mix without too much folding in air. So when you've got an even color, probably good to pour, and you should pour sooner rather than later because this stuff starts to harden up pretty quick. All right, so I'm aiming to drop right down below, like hitting the floor so that it builds up rather than pouring on top of. I'm just popping our little cubes in here. Oops. Doesn't matter too much if they sink between areas. Maybe it will. I don't actually know. There, see that? So you really, even though like it's lined by paper and there's resin, you just need to basically lick the top of it. You want to like make a quick throw it in?
Yeah.
Like a mold within the cup? Yeah, go on. Let's do it. Let's live on the wild side. Look at this. I'm gonna cut this into a little mold. Now this is improvising. Badly. Get a little. We're gonna try and coax out any gaps. Is there something we can hang across the middle? Do you want to cut off another? This is the best improvised mold I've ever seen.
The hot glue melted the side of the cup.
Well,
it's melting it rather than sticking to it.
We need more hot glue then. Perfect.
Structurally
And that is
integral.
how to badly make silicon molds. All right, I'll let you take it from here.
Cool. How long does it take to
I've been
set?
very helpful and professional, as you can see.
So it was time for me to practice what I had just been showed. I made a mold following pretty much all the instructions Jazza had laid out. Ultimately, this was a complete crapshoot and I would have to throw this one out. But hey, it was a good learning experience that set me up for the two-part mold a bit later.
Let's have a look at how they came out before I push any further. I think the first thing I really want to look at is this nightmare. Now the immediate problem with this is how the hell do you get the, the item out of the cast? So that's just gonna rip off, yep. Now what do I do? Okay, all right, let's just cut into this, boy. Give me back my void shield generator. So, yeah, I don't know. There's definitely a sculptable thing. I'll give it a shot. Obviously, it's a nightmare to get anything out of. It might be a one-use mold. The more important one is, let's have a look at this one. So we can just rip the sides off. Oh my gosh. Ta-da! And then, done. There's one I prepared earlier. And now I have a huge mess. The mold will rehold its shape. Like the silicon's really good, so I should just be able to kind of rip it out without paying too much attention to it. I don't know how that's gonna go. If I keep pulling, oh, hey. They actually look really, really good. I mean, look, they may not be, but they look like most of the details captured. So any little imperfections that might be in this mold, we actually can just hide with snow, texture, and debris when we do the diorama, which is a really good advantage to using this sort of technique for terrain. It doesn't need to be perfect because we have heaps of ways of hiding those imperfections. So we have learned a lot. I've made some mistakes. I've got some ridiculous gloves. I'm ready to move on and go for, well, as Jazza would say, my dive.
So this was the main event. I had a little bit of practice and I'd seen where I'd failed before, so it was time to make a two-part mold. To do this, I followed all the steps for the previous mold. However, this time for the first layer, I heated up some monster clay, which is a reusable, heatable clay that can be used to make two-part molds really well.
All right, so I'm doing a two-part mold and I want to do it really well, so I'm going to attempt to use the vacuum chamber. Now, last time this was used, it was by Jazza and...
This resin is everywhere.
I'm putting some glasses on because, yeah, I am really nervous because I've never used a vacuum chamber before. So, let's give it a crack. I think that's the wrong bit. Okay, that just comes off. I'm just wrecking it. Oh God. So the first thing to do is mix up some silicone, and this thing has a 6-minute working time, and that includes getting the bubbles out. So I'm gonna have to be pretty on the ball, and I won't have time to make extra. So good luck, me.
Good luck, Dave.
Thanks, Rob. Mold release agent, can't forget. I didn't even want to, I just was like, I don't know what this is. I'm not gonna breathe near there. I'm out. Avoid breathing in dust, fume, gas, mist, vapor spray. Use only outdoors. Now I don't have to worry as much about bubbles
because I know I'm using the pressure chamber, but as soon as these touch, 6-minute clock be ticking. Oh no. Okay, it's fine. I didn't pour out all the amount that I'd made. That was stupid. Okay. Fuck. Okay. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to do a jazzer. Botheration. Oh, bother. Okay, I have run out of things to shove in there. Everything is fine. Nothing is fine. Okay. Alright. Yes! I think that's what I want. Oh my god! Jeez Louise. Okay, so I did that really delicately and like literally nothing exploded and the system seemed to work the way it was intended. So I don't know, maybe that's a point for reading the instructions. Cool, that'll take another like 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes to set and then we can have a look and see if I completely failed or not. But I can rest easy knowing I didn't blow resin into my eyes or silicone. All right, so it's day 2. The first 2-part mold I've ever made has leaked. Oh, that's a good start. Everything's stuck to everything because I'm a messy worker. Such a waste of good construction materials. We need some Lego. Uh-oh. Everything's fine. All right. So this is fused. Obviously, the silicone has fell down the sides while it was casting, and it's fused into one. But I did cover it in Vaseline, so I'm sure I can, I'm sure I can get to the good stuff. I just need to separate the edges. Just need to peel this crack open. Looks really bad. That's not safe for YouTube. I definitely feel like I'm doing exploratory surgery when I do this. How come it always works for Jazza? What the hell? Every time he does some chaotic thing first shot, it just works. And then he's like, it worked. This is fucking cool. It's so cool. Oh, here's a minor blemish, but the rest of it worked. The Vaseline did nothing. Vaseline did nothing. Miraculously. It's so, I put Vaseline in it.
Put Vaseline.
And it's all glued together. Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is.
Okay, great.
It may be, it's pretty jank, but it might work. It's certainly worth a try. This isn't something I would bother to do in my own time because I'm really lazy and I would just let someone else spend their time doing this and then buy their model. But it's cool.
With a little bit of time left in the day, I rushed to try and make another mold, this time of the Stormbird canopy. Figured if I could make a transparent mold, it would be really useful for making multiple versions of the canopy. I did, however, push this too far into the monster clay, so I'm a little bit dubious as to whether this one's going to turn out.
Alright, so the time has come for me to melt down some chocolate and make some delicious Stormbird pieces. Oh, I should put it in the microwave, probably. Now I have to be really careful not to mix up the chocolate with the monster clay. Alright, it is time. I have no funnel, I have no system, I have no anything, but hey, let's get a delicious, oh god, this is gonna go everywhere. A delicious chocolate Stormbird engine. What are the odds this just is not at all like a formed Stormbird engine? Go in. That looks wrong. It's fine, just push the chocolate around in the choco hole. Oh, look at this. Isn't that lovely? That's kind of a vibe though. Definitely scalding my finger.
So while chocolate and gummy bears is a whole bunch of fun, I did want to make a couple of versions of this cast that we could use for our diorama and for the terrain.
Whenever you're using resin, always wear good respiration, eye protection, gloves, work in a well-ventilated space, and yeah, be safe.
So to do this, I mixed up a 2-part epoxy resin and mixed in some deep blue pigment. Jazza was also curious as to whether the lightweight hydrocol plaster would be good for making these molds, so I made a single cast of the plaster as well. I know this plaster can be quite fragile and crumbly, so I was quite dubious as to whether the plaster one would be worthwhile for terrain, given the high amounts of detail on this sculpt.
Hello!
Hi.
Jazz is back.
Hello.
And you're here to see my very subpar sculpting.
Let's start off with this one.
Ow! It's got all these like overlaps and...
Oh well, we got... Moving on.
Oh, we have a lumpy Stormbird.
Hey! That's
Aside from...
something.
Yeah, the lumpy bit of engine is the only thing that's not like pretty perfect. We have a chocolate Stormbird turbine.
Oh, that worked really well.
A chocolate void shield generator.
Oh!
Oh, by the way, Rob mentioned it's not food safe silicone. Oh my God, this is the world's stickiest substance. This is a bag of Haribo gummy bears.
Are you serious? This is gummy bears?
This is gummy bears.
Oh my God, it's de-shaping as well. I mean, it died how it lived.
Did that happen while you were
Deformed.
pulling it out? The detail's in there.
This is amazing.
These, I think, are the ones you did and therefore will be the best ones of the day.
Mainly because you cast them in resin and plaster.
Single cast.
It's not the chocolate or gummy. On 3, this is the last push. 1. I'm so sorry. This is...
Hey!
Hey, that worked really well. That worked really well.
Yeah.
That's usable.
That actually is usable.
That's cool.
I think these would be perfect
Obviously,
though,
it's not
so-
pristine, but it's almost Forge World resin quality.
Oh my God, crumbly though.
Yeah, Forge World resin quality. No, it's... Oh my God! That's really cool.
That's actually like
That's
pretty
very
much
cool.
perfect, right?
Amazing. Oh, yeah, this one's spiky.
That's why I'm opening it like this so it doesn't rip off all the little bits.
Like that little... Oh my God, this is so freaking good. That's bloody great. Look at that. Oh.
This is my 2-part mold that I'm most nervous about. This is the final, the piece de la resistance.
So this is either a triumph or the letdown of the whole video.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. Dave.
We have a thing.
It's a Stormbird wing.
Holy sh**.
Holy sh**.
It's a bit messy in play. Yeah, wow, okay.
Holy sh**, dude. Oh, that's great. And then you made, obviously, a very workable mold.
Yeah.
We can do a couple more and they're great terrain pieces.
Yeah, like if we want to make crashed bits of wing or
I don't
something.
know which way it goes on, but holy crap, that's just the raging success.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah. We stole bits of a Stormbird. Ooh. As always, this video wouldn't be possible without our bloody beautiful patrons. These turned out so great. I'm so bloody chuffed. It's very, very cool. And we have cool stuff coming, which, by the way, if you're on the fence about joining Patreon, it is where all the juicy behind the scenes go. Our patrons will get some of those really cool behind the scenes deets and tours.
Yeah, I just 3D printed like a little cargo train that comes up to the Stormbird, so we could totally put one of these engines on the cargo.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
cool.
So thank you for coming on this journey. It's been really cool to learn how to do it, and now I'm never gonna do it again.
Famous bloody last words. Because once you have a tool on your tool belt, even if it's an inconvenient one, when the time comes that you want to do something specific,
Okay.
you'll do it.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to give an honest review because they've just watched a bumbling idiot try and work out how to do this.
No, bumbling idiots.
And I think that like a lot of YouTube videos present things and they cut all the mess
Yeah.
out and they leave it looking polished and easy. But most of you, except the ones who are smarter and better than us, who are definitely already let us know in the comments that, most people out there, if they're honest, this is closer to the experience they're gonna have the first time they're doing
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. And we get the feedback that people like that we show the warts and all. We also get the feedback that the warts are gross. Stop showing us your warts. To that we say, just look at it.
Yeah.
Look at the bloke. Yeah, nah. Yeah, just look closer. Because we all got him. You got him.
Dave, I told you that silicone is not food safe.
You're not my dad!